Hey everyone, this is Susan Treadgold. I am the host of the High Performing Woman Talk Show. Today I'm actually doing an interview offline, and I have the wonderful Helen Zimprich here, zooming in from Lebanon. I met Helen through the Global Woman Club, which, if you don't know what it is, it's an amazing, empowering organization helping women connect and support each other across the world. Now, Helen is a brilliant parenting coach. And if you don't follow her on LinkedIn, I suggest that you do. But she always tells these amazing personal stories and shares her wisdom and insight. And heading into the holidays, most parents need an extra little bit of help here and there. But I welcome Helen. I'm thrilled to have a conversation with you today. Thank you for making the time.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so honored to speak here to your audience.
Yeah, my pleasure. So, I wanted to start off with like when people work with you, I mean, not everybody's worked with a parenting coach before. So, if someone's going to work with you as a parenting coach, what's the first question you ask them when you start to work with them?
That's a great question. So the first question I am usually asking a mother is, what kind of mother do you want to be? So because this is so powerful, because I want to know where are you now? Where want to you be after you're working with me? So what's your goal? So because many mothers they come to me and say, okay, I'm impatient, I'm losing my control, my temper. So and then I say, okay, now we need to find out which steps do you need to become a patient mother. So we will create a blueprint together. And so what is triggering you? Maybe you are not sleeping enough and you are not eating well. So why are the reasons behind you losing your temper? So and that's always my favorite question to ask the mother in the beginning. What kind of mother do you want to be?
Yeah, and I love it. And then, I remember before you talked about, um, you know, how you start your day before you engage with your children, how you enter the home after work. These things are so important about setting intentions. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yes, this is very important. Before a couple of years, I was a very grumpy mom in the morning. I woke up and no one was allowed talking to me. I just wanted to prepare everything for the kids for school, and I didn't like that. So I questioned myself, how can I change that? So I asked the same question, what kind of mother I want to be? And I wanted to be a loving mother. That was my goal. So instead of waking up 10 minutes before I wake up my kids, I set up my alarm 50 minutes before. So now when I wake up at 6 o'clock. I have a glass of water in peace. I watch the sunrise. I do stretching, meditation. So I ground myself. And I also take 10 minutes to cuddle with my children, to connect. So my cup is filled and my kids' cup is filled. So that makes such a huge difference in our life. And I realized when I picked up my kids from school, I was again more triggered. So I said, okay, I need the same grounding before I pick them up again. So I stop working at 1:30 and get grounded, do again meditation and breath work. And I ask myself the intention, how do I want to be when I pick up my kids? So and as I said, I want to be a loving mother. So my fourth sentence, my attention is I'm a loving and patient mother. I don't yell, I choose peace, and I control my feelings. So, and when you repeat this sentence every day, they're becoming your parenting identity. So you're really embracing this and you're becoming this parent.
It's like a subconscious command that starts to embed, right?
Exactly. Exactly. That's like a affirmation. Exactly. That goes into your subconscious mind, and you really believing you are a patient, loving mother. You can control your feelings, and you're not yelling, and you're choosing peace. So it's really you becoming your identity. It's one of my
I
favorite
love
tools. And
those. Those are four really great affirmations. I mean, who wouldn't want all of those? I imagine everybody could benefit from those embedded identity formers. Now, we're coming up to the holidays. You know, what I'd like as a parenting coach, maybe you could share with us your top three tips and maybe also how that might coincide with this busy holiday period and what should our overall intention be for this holiday period approaching it. I think before you were mentioning when we were chatting earlier, you were talking about connection versus stuff.
Yes, this is so important for me. So, I am now a working mom as a parenting coach. And today we had in Germany, we start the 1st December with this advents calendar, we call it. So we fill little bags with little gifts and put it every day. The child can open one gift until the 24th of December. And in general, I was very good organized. But this year, the 1st of December came so suddenly, and I'm not prepared. So I filled the bags in the morning, but only the first three or four. And I told my kids before that I'm sorry, I didn't have the time to manage to fill all the bags. I will do it during this week. And they, of course, they showed compassion for me and they were fine with it. And yesterday, instead of doing it at night, we watched Home Alone together. So I chose connection first over having the perfect advent calendar ready. And this is actually what I'm always recommending mothers. Also, when you don't have the time to cook on the 24th of December or whenever you have your big family meal, order something from the restaurant, so that there's no problem. We don't have to do everything and all, so it is more important
That
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 you
that's
create
like showing
intimacy.
compassion for yourself, right?
Yes. So this is what your gift should be as a mother. Show compassion for yourself. Don't force yourself to be perfect with everything, the perfect decoration. So I didn't start the decoration yet. So I will do it tomorrow, after each other slowly, So we cannot do everything on the same time. Being a perfect mother, working perfectly, being the perfect wife, So in particular during the holiday season where there's so much. I have a lot of birthdays. My daughter's birthday was last week. My other son's is next week, and my birthday was also there's a lot of birthdays in this holiday season. So we need to just, take it easy and create little moments with your children is more important than having the big gifts and the big events over the holiday.
Yeah, I agree. So, um, getting back to it, let me know what what you view as like maybe the three top tips that you would share with mothers trying to have a better relationship and how to be a better parent.
My first one is also show compassion for yourself and don't look for perfection. So we mothers, we need to be happy and we need to feel good. In particular, when you're working mom and you have long working hours and then you have your children, you also need time for yourself and to recharge your own batteries. So for me, for instance, sports is my priority, So to go twice per week to the gym to be strong and sportive. It's very important for me. So I block 2 hours per week in my calendar for that, where I don't take any coaching sessions. So this is my priority, and every woman needs to know what is my priority to be happy. Or when my kids have football in the afternoon, in general, I don't drive them and watch them, even if they ask me really often. But I take the afternoon to do self-care, to do a massage or to do my nails because I pick up my kids at 2 from work so I can be with them at the afternoon. So because I believe the time after school is very important for them, for their nervous system. When they come home, that mommy is there, we can talk. But then the afternoon, I need also either to work or to do some self-care. So this is, we cannot be everywhere, and this is what
Right.
we have to learn. So, and you matter, your self-care and your mental health matters. So find out what makes you happy and
True.
do it. That's the
Yeah.
first.
Okay.
So the second is when you're home, you need to connect with your child. You need to be present. So put your phone away. This is very important. So many parents today, they're always on the phone, the kids are talking and you don't listen. So I call it the tunnel vision. And this is very important to connect and give your child really the feeling of you are listening and you're present. So this it's enough if you have 10 or 15 minutes, but these 10 or 15 minutes, be really present. Go down to your child's level, look into his or her eyes and listen. Ask questions. How was your day? And then repeat, so you really give your child the feeling you're really listening. When your child saying, okay, I had a very difficult math test today, you said, oh, you had a very difficult math test, tell me more. Your child feels immediately that you are truly engaged. So this is very powerful for the connection with your child. And this is more important than having, as I said again, big events and doing fancy things, going to a big playground. So having real conversation with your child and real engaging and being present, this is so much more important. So that's a second.
The
And
deep
the,
presence. And is there, okay, I love
yeah,
that. Really being fully present, listening with all of your senses. And, that is more important than like, saving it all for a big Disneyland outing, having this
yeah,
regular connection,
yeah. And
deep
put your phone
presence.
away. This is really something I try really when I'm home with my kids to put my phone in a different room, that we are not always, scrolling and distracted. It also it damages your brain, that you're feeling more reactive and drained, because from this always your brain is always connecting here and connecting there. So if you put your phone away, you're so much more connected to your family and to your children. So this is it's really a game changer when you're putting your phone away.
That's awesome. And so, what's your third tip?
The third tip is, for me personally, the most important time with a child is in the morning and at night. So when I told you my routine in the morning, I wake up my kids 10 minutes before they have to get up to really connect with them. So we cuddle and I tell them nice things like, I love you. You know how much mommy loves you and you will have a great day. And I'm sure you will spend a good time with your friends, so that you really connect and the cup of your child is filled. So because this is what your child carries a whole day with them, so if they're getting in a good mood and feeling loved, they will carry this. Even if you're working mom, you're away for long hours, they feel loved, so they're not feeling neglected, and they will keep this good feeling the entire day. So this will make such a big difference in your child's life and emotions and mental health. And the next very important time is the time before you go to bed, that you also engage in this time. You read the story together, you cuddle, you reflect about the day. You can ask about gratitude, what was the best things you experienced today. You pray together, so this is so praying is a very important tool in our family. So to ask also God for help, that the kids feel not alone in their life. So these moments, I personally, because I told you, I pick up my kids from school because I believe this time is also very important for them. But I know this is not realistic for all moms out there, so to do this. But morning and night, these are really, take 10 to 15 minutes to connect with your children.
I love that. When my children were younger, and we still do it sometimes, but particularly, probably up until high school, then it became a little bit more hectic. But in the evening, we would always do for years, like maybe 15 years of their lives, we would do our gratefuls before we went to bed, and it would always be five gratefuls. And it was funny. I think it also opened up other windows for connection because they always had to do five things that they were grateful for that day. It couldn't be the usual family food, friends, home. It had to be specific to that day. And sometimes, like when I would ask my kids, well, what did you do at school today? Nothing. How was it? Fine. But then when we got to our gratefuls, my daughter would want, oh, well, so and so asked me to sit with her together at lunch today. Or like my math test was like easier than I thought. And then you got more insight into their daily lives and also like what's important to them. So I love that. And I also think it builds a healthy sense of gratitude because if they know that they have to be doing five new gratefuls, they'll be looking for that in their life during the day. They'll think, oh, I'll use that for one of my gratefuls tonight. You know, it helps them notice the positive. So I love that your last tip about connecting before bed as well. So you have a healthy boundaries course. Tell me what you mean by boundaries and maybe what some of the healthy boundaries that you have in your family.
Yes, boundaries are something. I told you that I'm living the expat life. So I met my husband and we moved to Beirut. And I raised my children far away from my own family and support system. So I created very early boundaries for my children without realizing that I'm doing that. So because this is something I was missing in my own teenager life. So my mother, she was very loving to me, but she never told me stop watching TV or things like that. I watched a lot of TV, and she said nothing. So I had no rules at home, and I was missing that to perform better in my teenager years and later in my early adolescence years. So this is what I gave my children from the very early boundaries, and now today when I'm raising my own children. I see how important it is to have boundaries. I mentioned the screen time before. So we in our family, we don't have screen time before 7 p.m. So because children today, I witness it everywhere, they're all day on the TV, all day on the iPad or on the phone. They don't go out anymore. You know, I have my kids have friends. They lost them because of the PlayStation, because they play PlayStation all day instead of going out and playing football and get dirty. So children need to be bored and they need to go out and experience childhood. So when we don't set limits, our kids are losing their childhood on TV. So we as a parents, we have the responsibility to say no. Yeah, and this word is what I'm teaching mothers today to say no with confidence because many mothers forgot how to use authority and say no. And so in my home, and this is what I'm teaching mothers, is to set clear boundaries on screen time. I explain why this is, and I recommend it on nutrition because many children today also they drink a lot of soda, they eat a lot of junk food, and they don't see the bigger picture. The problem is that children they have an underdeveloped brain until the mid 20s. So we talk about 25 to 28. So until this time frame, the children are not able to make wise decisions on their own. They need us parents to tell them what to do and what not to do. So it is they trust us that we do the good decisions for them. So we need to tell them, no, Pepsi for children, it's not right. We should say no. And sugar we should really minimize. And so this is what I'm teaching. So it's about screen time and nutrition and also family time and connection is something I'm teaching because this is so essential that we're talking to children, that we give them communication skills. And this is also something I witness with families nowadays, that there's less and less conversation and connection as a family. So um, and what I do in my program is I created a family list, or I do this with the mothers actually. So I let them choose. There, I think, 50 family values, and they choose 10. And these family values, they become their compass for the family. So in this framework, the children know what is allowed and what is not allowed. For instance, health is one of our family values. That means I emphasize good food and also sports. And my family, sports is the number one. So every one of my kids have to choose a sport. I don't force children to do a sports, but I tell them you need to choose. So my oldest son, he goes to the gym and do horse riding. My other kids, they go to football. So because movement is very important for for the children's development, for bones and muscles, and for the mental health as well. So these are the guidelines I'm telling the mothers what I I would recommend, but of course they choose their own. You know, they can also choose
Right.
tidiness. Yeah. And then the children know when they get the logic consequence and when not. So my children, when they eat unhealthy, they know they will face a logic consequence, like they will lose their screen time for the day. So this is what I'm teaching. Every behavior will get a logic consequence. Does it make sense for you?
Yeah, and so what I think the benefit for me in particular of having boundaries is like I think one of the most exhausting things as a parent is the constant negotiation. I remember earlier, my like really when my son was really young, he wouldn't take no for an answer and he would kept on and kept on. And my dad turned to me and says, "Do you know why he keeps going and keeps going?" And I'm like, "No, why?" He said, "Because it works." He
Mm.
goes, "You don't hold your boundary and you give in." And so that, I changed that. I started, a boundary is a boundary, and that stops all that negotiation because that constant negotiation with the children is it destroys connection and it's exhausting, isn't it?
Yeah, that's so true. That is very true because in my family, as I said, we don't have TV time before 7 p.m. So there's no negotiation. There's no nagging. My kids know my no is a no. That doesn't mean that when we have holiday or rainy day that we can watch before 7. So every boundary can be flexible that you can also have a day where we watch during the day, but this is really just very rarely because exactly what you said, we need to be consistent. When your boundaries blur, your children will be confused. If today you're yelling for something and the day after you don't, they don't understand the world,
Friends
you
are
know?
master negotiators. They'll always negotiate if
Yes.
they have if they think they can, right?
Exactly, exactly. So, and when my son wants something and I say no and he starts screaming and crying, no, I keep the no. The rule is always you say, when you say 3 times no, you have to keep the no. If you say maybe, you can change your mind for something, but after the third time no, you should not, because then your child learns that they will get something for more yelling and for more crying, and then they will use it against you. So this is very important. Be consistent with your boundaries and with your logic consequences. So when my kids are hitting each other, they know I don't like it. So when I say stop and they don't stop, then I'm very firm with it. Then you're not getting screen time this day. So but they know that what is allowed and what is not allowed. When you have your rule in your home, I want a tidy home, you have to clean up your room every day. When you don't do it, you don't get your phone, then it's a logic consequence. I will understand, and then you will have less um, negotiation with your kids every day. You come home from work and their room will be clean. Otherwise, they know you will take away their phone. So this is
Right.
makes life so much easier. So when you have clear boundaries, the kids know what is allowed, and when you say really no with confidence and consistency.
So, you want to share some details about your program before we wrap up?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I would love to
Do,
share
do you have
for.
a slide or something where people can contact you?
Yes, here, this is my contact details. You can send me a DM to helen.zimprich@gmail.com with the subject Susan Treadgold, and then you will get 15% on my Healthy Boundaries program. It's a 4 weeks program. It's a one-to-one session. And I will, as I told you, we will create together your family value list, and I will explain you exactly how you can bring the peace into your home and how you can create the healthy boundaries so your children will truly listen to you.
Could you share that screen? I mean, could you share
I
that
didn't,
slide?
I didn't share it. I thought I
No,
should. I'm
no,
sorry.
it didn't come up.
Okay.
Um, every because it was a bit quick for people to write down. I think it would be easier
I'm
to take a
sorry. I'm
screen.
sorry. I thought I shared it.
A bit better. I can take a screenshot and write it down.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
Have you got it?
Now,
Yeah, here it is.
here it
It's
is. I'm
coming.
sorry.
It's popping up. So, yes, great. So, for those that are viewing, um, there you go. 15% off. And is there, do you have, can they request more information first? Do you have like a write-up of what is included? Or can they just email you first and request some more information or a quick chat with you before they go ahead?
Definitely. You can just send me an email on helen.zempich@gmail.com, and I'm happy we can have a 15 minutes chat, and I can tell you everything. I sent you my information about the program, so you will really get detailed information before you're booking anything, what we are doing in every session. So we will have a one-to-one sessions. You will get a workbook with every sessions, with the further reading list, a lot of information. So you get a lot from that. And of course, before you book anything, we will have a chat. You will tell me exactly what you expect from that. I will tell you exactly what you will get from it. What I can promise you from this program, that really this program will transform the chaos in your home into a source of peace and calm. You will become a confident mother who says no with confidence, and your children will truly listen to you.
That's brilliant. What a dream. Well, and how much is the cost of the program?
The cost of the program, it's in $400, and then we will reduce the 15%.
Okay, well, that's wonderful. That sounds like, honestly, that sounds like a bargain to me. So, thank you so much, Helen. Yeah, so if people are interested in being a better mother and setting some healthy boundaries and having a vision, a clear vision, an intention for your motherhood, I think Helen would be a great person to get in touch with. So thank you very much, Helen.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Um, the pleasure was all mine. So I'm going to stop recording now.